Good evening and welcome to the SUNFM Sunset News. To present it, my name is Bridget Kapopo. A look at the headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema and President João Lourenço of Angola have agreed that it does not make economic sense to continue committing to agreements that are never actualized. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, says stern action will be taken against civil servants who are in the habit of abusing state finances. The Ministry of Health has attributed the rise of COVID-19 cases to a new subvariant of the Omicron coronavirus called XBB, with the country recording 311 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths. In sports, African Nations for Championships CHAN defending champions Morocco have pulled out of the 2023 tournament. And those are the headlines. Join me for the details shortly.
The news, 88.5 Sun FM.
And now for the news in detail. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, says stern action will be taken against civil servants who are in the habit of abusing state finances. Speaking during the official opening of the Permanent Secretary's workshop in Lusaka today, Mr. Kangwa said mismanagement of funds in the New Dawn government will not be tolerated because serious auditing will be conducted in all institutions. He said that his office will work with all departments in government to ensure that funds are put to good use. The Secretary to the Cabinet has since called on all Zambians and the public sector to ensure that there is prudent resource management. And Parliamentary Chairperson for the Public Accounts Committee, Warren Mwambazi, called on controlling officers to prioritize development. Mr. Mwambazi advised controlling officers to work together with auditors in a bid to achieve accountability in public resource expenditure. While Auditor General Dick Sichembe says his office will be more aggressive and bolder in protecting public funds from being abused, Dr. Sichembe says his office is mandated to foster transparency, accountability and prudence in the management of public resources and will not relent to protect taxpayers' money. He said most of the audit queries in the Auditor General's reports can be avoided if controlling officers follow the laid-down procedures in financial management. The Ministry of Health has attributed the rise of COVID-19 cases to a new subvariant of the Omicron coronavirus called XBB, with the country recording 311 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths. The over 300 cases are out of 3,647 tests done in the last 24 hours. Speaking during a press briefing, Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo said the cases indicate an 8.5 positivity rate and increasing at an alarming rate. Ms. Masebo also encouraged the public to continue getting vaccinated and to take precautionary measures. She explained that Central, Copperbelt, Eastern, Lusaka, Luapula, Northwestern, Southern and Western are the provinces that have recorded cases. Lusaka is the highest in the numbers of cases recorded at 71, while Western Province is the lowest with only 3 cases, while Muchinga and Northern have none.
The cumulative number of COVID-19 related deaths recorded to date in Zambia stands at 4,034. Those classified as COVID-19 related are 2,881. And those classified as associated deaths, COVID-19 associated deaths, are 1,153. We currently have 1,948 active cases, 29 of whom are currently admitted to hospital, 8 of these being new admissions in the last 24 hours, and of those admitted, 9 are on exit.
Further, Ms. Masebo said government has put in place measures to prevent the outbreak of waterborne diseases like cholera and called for concerted efforts. She said cholera is still a threat in the country, hence government will continue with sensitization programs to educate the general public on how they can keep safe from the disease.
This, therefore, is a clarion call to our beloved country that we need to take steps to particularly avoid the cholera outbreak within our boundaries or borders. While we have so far done well and have not recorded any case of confirmed cholera since May of 2022, our environmental conditions make us remain at high risk of an outbreak. The increasing rain, poor drainage systems, and general increase in garbage all point to fatal conditions of an outbreak of diarrheal diseases, including the dreadful cholera.
Chief Resident Magistrate Dominic Makalicha has granted 20,000 kwacha cash bail with $2-based liable sureties to the 8 Croatian nationals who were arrested on suspicions of human trafficking. The 4 Croatian nationals pleaded not guilty to the charge of attempting to traffic 4 Congolese children or below the age of 4 after appearing before Ndola Chief Magistrate Dominic Makalichi during the first hearing. Today, as trial commenced, the 8 who had been detained since the day of arrest on 7th December 2022 were granted bail.
The matter involving Croatian nationals who are appearing in court for attempted human trafficking came up today under Chief Resident Magistrate Dominic Makalicha for commencement of trial, where 3 witnesses testified. The Croatian nationals camped at Spree Guest House in Ndola's Kansenshi Township for 5 days, and after checking out, they were stopped at Simon Mwansaka-Pwepwe International Airport on 7th December 2022. The immigration deputy officer in charge at Simon Mwansaka-Pwepwe International Airport, who stopped their exit, Messi Mulenga, was a 3rd witness, testified that she was not sure of the adoption credentials, stating that the 4 children came through Sakanya border and the persons who claimed adoption did not travel to Congo, which made Ms. Mulenga doubt the authenticity of the adoption documents. The 4 couples were later handed over to Immigration Office for further investigations. The suspects have been in immigration custody since 7th December 2022, and today, fresh hair has been given to them by Chief Resident Magistrate Dominic Makalicha in granting them 20,000 cash bail each with 2 liable dollar-based sureties. Defense lawyer Kelvin Sulimba said everyone deserves bail regardless of their nationality.
Under normal circumstances, it's a very normal thing for them to object if they feel that it is not satisfying for them to have the accused people be granted bail. Otherwise, the law still had to prevail because there are those provisions of the law, which is their constitutional right, and the court has already granted them. I think that's the only response I'll give.
The matter has been adjourned to 23rd and 25th of January 2023 for continuation of trial. Reporting for SUNFM Radio and TV, I'm Cletus Mutoki in Ndola.
Power utility firm ZESCO has called on the public to be vigilant and report any trespassers who may want to take advantage of the current load shedding to vandalize ZESCO installations. Board chairperson Vixon Ncube says the utility company is aware that during this period of long hours of load shedding, some criminal elements are likely to steal things like transformer oil and cables, among others, from installations. Mr. Ncube stated that the ZESCO installations are costly to replace and may subsequently affect service delivery. He assured that the ZESCO security wing, working in collaboration with state police, will not hesitate to act on vandals.
The issue of vandalism affects us as members of society, and we must take it seriously, because when a vandal steals a cable cable, breaks down a transformer, they get transformer oil. We are affected as citizens. First, primarily the people in that area. But for the citizen at large, ZESCO thinks they had solved the problem. We thought we had connected people. We thought we had given you the cables, the transformers, and everything. When vandals come and take out those transformers and those cables, we have to replace them. That means we are delaying our ability to deliver service to the next customer. We are going backward.
Meanwhile, ZESCO has advised customers to switch off electrical appliances every time power supply is intermittent in order to secure property from being damaged. Speaking in a telephone interview, ZESCO spokesperson Henry Kapata said that the persistence in tripping of electricity when it is restored after hours of load shedding are as a result of overload of power transformers by customers. Mr. Kapata explains that power transformers have a specific voltage that they can allow to supply, and that once there is an overload, they trip until there is stability in voltage they can supply. He stated that customers should be switching off all electrical appliances whenever they notice continuous tripping of power and only remain with the bulb that will indicate to them that electricity has been restored effectively. Mr. Kapata also advised members of the public who may suspect that their electrical appliances have been damaged by power outages to report to the power utility company so that they are compensated. He, however, said that ZESCO will also conduct an investigation to ascertain if indeed the electrical appliances were really damaged by the power utility company during the load shedding.
And something goes wrong on the electrical appliances of a customer, what is the way forward? What about being compensated? Because to them it is ZESCO's fault. The procedure is that when you lose electrical appliances as a result of the trippings, the first thing that must happen is, number one, investigations will have to be executed. The customer has the right to engage private investigators, but we have our own investigators who are able to determine who is wrong in this case. Two things. It could be either we are wrong because of high voltage, it could also be because of the internal wiring from a customer. So when we determine the reasons for that, what led to the issues of electrical appliances being damaged, and then we write to the customer through the legal department, either compensating them or informing them the cause of the damage.
We take a short break, and when we return, the Sunset News continues.
Radio has come alive on TV. Watch all your favorite shows live. Watch all your favorite hits live. Watch all your favorite talk shows live. Watch what you hear. It's radio on TV. It's SUNFMTV, Zambia's first visual radio, on air on Topstar Channel 91. Download SUNFM Zambia app and watch live TV. Watch live TV on sunfmzambia.net. Follow us on Twitter at SUNFM Zambia. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch live shows and podcasts. Everyone is not just listening, now everyone is watching.
You are watching and listening to SUNFMTV on Channel 91 on Topstar and radio on 88.5 FM on the Copperbelt to 95.5 FM in Kapere-Mposhi, Central Zambia on 95.1 FM. Nation's capital Lusaka on 95.3 FM and Livingston, the tourist capital, on 91.7 FM. DSTV audio channel 916 and GoTV audio channel 302. Zambia's first and finest visual radio. Everyone is not just listening, everyone is watching. Stay tuned. You are watching and listening. You are watching and listening to SUNFMTV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. The SUNFM Sunset News continues. The case involving former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo and wife Wanizia Chewa before the Economic and Financial Crimes Court has been deferred to February 1st, 2023. This is due to the absence of the arresting officer as she was reportedly ill. In this matter, Mr. Kampyongo and wife are facing 11 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime worth over 29 million kwacha. We have details in this report.
The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC Acting Senior Investigations Officer, who arrested and charged former Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo and wife Wanzia Chirwa, failed to make it to court this morning for cross-examination by the defense as she is reportedly sick. This is in a matter where Mr. Kampyongo and his wife are facing 11 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime worth over 29 million kwacha. When the matter came up before Magistrate Sylvia Munyenya yesterday, Zangiwa Mulenga, an acting senior investigations officer at ACC, testified that the commission received a complaint against Mr. Kampyongo and his wife, which was alleging that Avic International built flats in Foxdale. She said the report also alleged that Kampyongo and his wife had bought properties costing more than their earnings. According to court records, the offences were committed between 1st January 2012 and 30th September 2022. In the last court sitting, SCC officer Zangiwe Mulenga testified before Lusaka magistrate Sylvia Munyenya that Mr. Kampyongo owns property which was 2,400 million kwacha above his earnings. The property include a house in Eureka valued at 8,600 million kwacha. Among other properties Mr. Kampyongo is accused of owning above his income include a bare land of Twin Palm Road valued at 1,600 million kwacha, a property in Rockview, Mount Economic Zone valued at 819 million kwacha. The court could not proceed with cross-examination today. The court has since adjourned the matter to 1st February 2023 for cross-examination of Mr. Mulenga. Eve Nankala, reporting for SUNFMTV and Radio News in Lusaka.
The matter in which former Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Technical Services Dr. Kennedy Malama and 8 others are charged with willful failure to follow procedure involving the procurement of 50 basic support life ambulances came up for continuation of trial before the Economic and Financial Crimes Court yesterday. Dr. Malama is jointly charged with former MOH directors Dr. Francis Walia, Dr. Mzaza Ntele, Dr. Maximilian Wope, Dr. Jabin Mulwanda, Dr. Gardner Siakantu, former Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Administration Ms. Caroline Mulalelo Kakulubelwa, former Chief of Procurement Wilson Lungu, and an accountant Rebecca Ndlovu. However, the matter could not proceed as Ms. Kakulubelwa Mulalelo made an application for an adjournment to engage a new lawyer following the death of her defense lawyer, Tutu Angulube, who was handling the case. The application was granted and the case adjourned to 27 January 2023. The matter in which Surya Energy Oil Experts Manager Aditya Arora stands charged for corrupt practices with a public officer came up for mention yesterday before Honorable Irene Washimanga. The matter was adjourned for continuation of trial on 10th February 2023. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company has drilled 4 commercial boreholes in Mpongwe district on the Copperbelt province. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company Manager, Marketing and Public Relations, Mishek Moyo, said the commercial boreholes will benefit over 8,000 residents spread across 800 households. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company has, in this regard, successfully installed and laid down an 18 kilometers network stretch in the district. The over 120 meters deep boreholes have been sunk in the central business area of Mpongwe and will be erected on 4 20 meters separate tank stands. Each of the 4 commercial tanks will store over 20,000 cubic meters of water per day, and the construction of houses for Kafue Water and Sanitation Company workers to be deployed to Mpongwe district has advanced. Kafue Water and Sanitation Company has 3 main shareholders, namely Ndola, Luansha and Masaiti district councils. The utility is this year expected to hold an extraordinary general meeting where Mpongwe Council will be included as a shareholder.
All things being equal, this project is expected to be commissioned by June 2023. This project has cost the utility over $3 million and the project is being funded and executed under the Kaflafuta Water System and Supply Project. Kafue Water and Sanitation Company is determined to ensure that the people of Mpongwe have access to clean and safe drinking water.
President Hakainde Hichilema and President João Lourenço of Angola have agreed that it does not make economic sense to continue committing to agreements that are never actualized. The 2 heads of state pledged to work towards the fulfillment of the signed 6 Memoranda of Understanding aimed at boosting trade and investments. The 2 countries signed an MOU on cooperation to facilitate the construction of the Zambia-Angola connection road via the Jimbe border between Zambia's Ikelenge district in the northwestern province and Angola's town of Luau. The 2 nations also committed to the construction of the Malundu-Sikongo border in the western part of Zambia. Zambia and Angola also signed a Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministries of Justice in both countries to enhance security in the 2 countries and the region as a whole.
President Hakainde Hichilema is hopeful that the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Zambia and Angola will boost untapped opportunities for trade, investment and tourism. President Hichilema said that Zambia and Angola are strategic partners with bilateral cooperation encompassing many areas of mutual interest at national, regional and global level. Among other MOUs signed are between Zambia's National Institute of Public Administration and Angola's National School of Administration and Public Policies. The 2 countries have also signed a Memorandum of Understanding between the Zambia Development Agency and Angola's Investment Agency Private and Export Promotion, which seeks to promote public and private investment in the 2 countries. Under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu, Zambia put a high premium on diplomatic relations, and one of the many countries Zambia signed deals with was Angola. When the head of state visited Angola in 2015, the 2 countries signed bilateral agreements on water and rail transport aimed at facilitating the movement of people and goods and boost trade. The agreement on water transport was to facilitate the movement of water vessels between Zambia and Angola at points where the 2 countries share waterways. Under this agreement, the Shangombo-Rivungu Canal, a 10-kilometer water which links western Zambia to the southeastern part of Angola, is expected to be operationalized. When constructed, the canal will open up the rural parts of Zambia and Angola to promote the movement of goods and people, thereby improving the general well-being of the citizens of the 2 countries. The railway transport agreement is also expected to facilitate transportation of goods and people between the 2 countries. The agreement on a railway line is aimed at facilitating connectivity between Bengula railway line and the 600-kilometer northwestern railway of Zambia to be built from Chingola through Solwezi, Lumwana up to Mwinilunga and Jimbe. In early 2019, Minister of Health Chita Chilufya and his Angolan counterpart Sylvia Luchuta signed an MOU aimed at enhancing cooperation to foster and improve health provisions between the 2 countries. Under the agreement, Zambia would send doctors and nurses to Angola, while Angolan students would be coming to Zambia to train in various medical fields and also exchange ideas on health-related matters. Through the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry, the two countries also signed another deal on trade to increase exports through customs duty exception of some products. And in November 2018, another MOU on cooperation in the oil and gas sector was also signed. The agreement would facilitate Zambia's importation of cheap oil from Angola through construction of a pipeline and refining facility. While it is commendable that the two countries have continued to collaborate on various matters of development, some of the deals signed are gathering dust on the shelves. Hence the call by President Hakainde Hichilema and President Joao Lourenco for the actualization of the various MOUs signed between Zambia and Angola. Reporting for SUNFMTV, I'm Gertrude Mwansa.
We take another short break, and when we return, sports news.
You are watching and listening to SUNFMTV on Channel 91 on Topstar and radio on 88.5 FM on the Copperbelt to 95.5 FM in Kapirian Poposhi, Central Zambia on 95.1 FM. Nation's capital Lusaka on 95.3 FM and Livingston, the tourist capital, on 91.7 FM. DSTV audio channel 916 and GoTV audio channel 302. Zambia's first and finest visual radio. Everyone is not just listening, everyone is watching. Stay tuned. You are watching and listening. You are watching and listening to SUNFMTV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. The SUNFM Sunset News continues. In sports, African Nations for Championship CHAN defending champions Morocco have pulled out of the 2023 tournament. The decision to withdraw from the tournament comes on the back of a standoff with the host country Algeria over travel arrangements. Despite the cancellation of direct flights between the two countries over tensions, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation wanted access to a direct flight from Rabat to Constantine. On 27 December 2022, Moroccan made it known to the Confederation of African Football (CAF) that if Algerian internal security refused to allow a direct flight, then the Atlas Lion would have to pull out of the competition. Morocco's withdrawal means CAF is now without its defending champions for one of its flagship competitions. The Moroccan team, which made history last month by becoming the first African or Arab team ever to reach the semi-finals of a World Cup, have won the past two African Nations Championships. In other sports news, Zambia Under-17 women's national team trio, Esther Msialela, Jessie Zulu, Teresa Musatila, have been listed among the Wonder Kids of 2023. According to a survey conducted worldwide by a team of women football experts in about 60 countries, 275 girls were listed to be future stars of women football. Others on the list from Zambia include Esther Banda, Esther Siamfuko, Jessie Zulu, and Mercy Chipasula. And in Denny Rose's football club and defending champions Green Buffaloes ladies team settled for a goalless draw in a rescheduled match Week 7 encounter played at Indeni Sports Complex in Ndola. Buffaloes, who are just 2 points behind log leaders Zesco Ndola girls, missed an opportunity to move to the summit of the table. And that sports story brings us to the end of the SUNFM Sunset News, and these are the headlines once again. President Hakainde Hichilema and President Joao Lourenco of Angola have agreed that it does not make economic sense to continue committing to agreements that are never actualized. Secretary to the Cabinet Patrick Kangwa says stern action will be taken against civil servants who are in the habit of abusing state finances. The Ministry of Health has attributed the rise of COVID-19 cases to a new subvariant of the Omicron coronavirus called XBB, with the country recording 311 new COVID-19 cases and 3 deaths. In sport, African Nations for Championship CHAN defending champions Morocco have pulled out of the 2023 tournament. On behalf of the entire news crew and my production crew, thank you so much for listening and watching. My name is Bridget Kapopo. Good evening.
The news, 88.5 Sun FM.
Sun FM, broadcasting from the Copperbelt capital, Ndola City.
This is your favorite station.